The Aces are in really big trouble there. In seriously big trouble. You're gonna have A'ja Wilson, who's arguably the best player in the WNBA, and she represents that woke yes, queen why aren't I being worshipped enough angry black woman. And then on the other side, you're going to have Caitlin Clark, and the exciting White's Las Vegas Aces group is kind of falling apart. Kelsey Plum is now with the Sparks. Sydney Colson has now chosen not to resign. With Aces, we've got ESPN's ranks of WNBA players right now, and Caitlin Clark is really damn high. Angel Reese ain't nowhere to be found in the top 10. She's not involved. The WNBA landscape is shifting, and Agile Wilson is feeling the heat. Just months ago, Wilson and her supporters mocked the idea that players would want to join Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. They claimed Clark's popularity was due to white privilege and insisted no one wanted to play alongside her. Can't help but laugh, and the people online who said that nobody wanted to play in Indiana. That doesn't make any sense. In what way would you not want to play in Indiana, the place where you're getting sold out arenas, the most viewership on television, playing with a player who is top 3 in MVP voting as a rookie, who clearly elevates her teammates around her. She scores a lot, but she is also dishing out the ball, able to elevate everyone around her. Why wouldn't you want to be in that system? I don't think any team had a better free agency than the Fever, but it's just wild how like 6 months to a year ago, the kind of word on the street was nobody wanted to play with the Fever. Look at all these free agents signing over there. These players, they want to make money. They want the recognition. The only person to do that is Caitlin Clark. That's fact, but now the exact opposite is happening. Star players are leaving the Las Vegas Aces, Wilson's so-called dynasty, and choosing to play with Caitlin Clark instead. Sydney Colson, a 2-time WNBA champion, is just the latest name to sign with Indiana. That's really something special, and I think you know everywhere she's gone she's won. 2-time WNBA champion Sydney Colson is signing a 1-year deal with the Indiana Fever. Colson, who spent the last 3 seasons in Las Vegas, brings veteran pedigree and experience in the backcourt to a surging Fever squad. Wanna Bonner and Natasha Howard, both seasoned veterans, have also joined the Fever, proving that players are eager to be part of a team led by Clark. Bonner, Natasha Howard, those were huge pickups. Those two were like, oh shit. Meanwhile, the Aces are falling apart, struggling with roster issues and financial limitations. Wilson, instead of taking accountability, is once again playing the race card, claiming that players are choosing Indiana because of Clark's race rather than her undeniable talent and leadership. Tiffany Hayes, who said she was only going to go back to the Aces, now taking meetings with teams. So what's really going on? Why is Wilson being left behind while Caitlin Clark builds a powerhouse? Let's break it all down. They've built a super team. They're going to make it to the WNBA finals and probably win the team they've put together with the coach. It looks amazing. For years, the Las Vegas Aces were considered the gold standard of the WNBA, a team poised to dominate for seasons to come. They were labeled the league's next great dynasty, boasting back-to-back championships and a star-studded roster led by Joe Wilson. But now the reality is very different. The so-called dynasty is collapsing, and Wilson is being left behind as key players walk away. The WNBA has created the magical storyline. They've created conflict between black and white. Sydney Colson, a 2-time WNBA champion and veteran presence, has officially signed with the Indiana Fever. Her departure is just the latest in a string of losses for the Aces. Kelsey Plum, one of their core players, has already joined the Los Angeles Sparks. This one has been the most shocking for a lot of fans because Sydney Colson seemed to be a key piece to the Las Vegas Aces. And secondly, they were also shocked because Sydney Colson's agent had made some remarks on social media, and these were directed at Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark misses layups, then hits Jackie Young in the face, her usual antics. The refs review it and keep it a foul on Jackie. Caitlin Clark then pleads with the refs to give Jackie Young a flagrant one when clearly Caitlin makes contact with Jackie's face first, and there was a video clip. This tweet is now deleted. So this is what Sydney Colson's agent had to say. She said fans of this aren't actually watching because ain't no way you like watching this kind of basketball, demonstrative, obnoxious, privileged. Chelsea Gray, who was once considered an elite playmaker, is battling injuries and is no longer at the same level. Jackie Young, another crucial piece of the Aces' success, recently suffered an injury, raising concerns about her availability. The Aces are also in serious financial trouble. She'll be the NBA MVP this year. They put the perfect team, in my opinion, around Caitlin Clark. And you're going to have this racial conflict, the exciting whites, the angry blacks. The television ratings are going to be massive, with Wilson, Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray, and Jewel Lloyd all signed to max or near max contracts. The team has little cap space left. They are struggling to sign quality replacements, forced to rely on veteran minimum contracts and second-round draft picks. just to fill their roster. Tiffany Hayes, another key player, is likely on her way out as other teams are willing to pay her more than the Aces can afford. Alicia Clark's future with the team is also uncertain. The thing that I'm noticing about the Indiana Fever roster and how it's shaking out, just like the other pickups that they've gotten, Sydney is somebody who knows how to win. This signing once again proves from the Indiana Fever front office they are ready to win. What was once a stacked roster has now been reduced to a shell of its former self. The Aces have lost several of their biggest contributors, and with a thin bench, Wilson will be forced to carry the team on her own. But instead of acknowledging the real reasons behind these departures, poor roster management, salary cap constraints, and the natural cycle of team rebuilding, Wilson is shifting the blame elsewhere. Caitlin has never truly had a team of veterans around her to help her uplift her game. She has always been able to uplift the players around her. Now they're stacking this team with vets. She and her supporters claim that the WNBA is favoring Caitlin Clark, that players are leaving the Aces simply because Clark is white. But the facts tell a different story. Players are leaving Wilson's team because the Aces are falling apart both on the court and behind the scenes. This is what Natasha Howard had to say about playing with Caitlin Clark. She spread the floor by shooting. She could dictate the floor as a point guard. She's an amazing passer, so I can't wait to run the floor and get those passes. She's grown this past season, how she takes the game day by day, and also just learning from other players and stuff. I'm just really excited to be a part of this team and also ready to catch her passes. Fever fans are already becoming huge fans of Natasha Howard. Natasha Howard's name is on the map. She's getting more recognition now before she's even gotten on the court than she probably has for most of her WNBA career. Thanks for watching and subscribe to the channel.